Hi Speechies, it's Sarah, and I'm so excited to launch a new series on my YouTube channel all about case studies and what these specific students or clients that I worked with over the years have taught me that I applied to future therapy. I had this one student, and I'm going to completely de-identify this student because I don't want to break any laws. This particular student was very young, early elementary, and he had some problematic behaviors in speech therapy sessions. Now, I wouldn't consider this student like behavior disordered, but this student was a typical little boy with some behaviors during speech sessions that were off task and at times really challenging for me to manage. Let's talk a little bit more about this student and how he presented. This was a student, first and foremost, that was Spanish dominant. He did not know any English, virtually any English. So in terms of treatment, I knew that Spanish was what he needed. And if you're new here, I do speak Spanish, so that made things pretty easy for me. I saw this student in a group, and sometimes he was distracted by peers, so that did impact his performance. He was also very high energy and really struggled to pay attention to our sessions and any materials that I had, anything that I was showing. I had a whiteboard in the setup that I had. I would often write on it. It was hard for him to pay attention. One thing that should be noted about this particular student was that he was extremely cute. And the reason I bring this up is that it can work in their favor because this is a society we live in that really rewards attractive people in general. It can also work to the client's detriment if they're quote unquote spoiled or if they're infantized. So he was very cute, hard to get to work, and I remember feeling like therapy with him was extremely challenging for me to even make progress. Along with being cute, he was extremely social. So that was part of why he would get off track. I would see him in the hallways chatting with peers. He had no trouble with any kind of social language. But when you dug deeper into his understanding of vocab, linguistic concepts, he was below average for sure. When I was working at this district, they sent everybody that was relatively new to a behavior management training. And one thing I learned that full day of training was called Presume Positive Intent. And so instead of viewing your student as, this kid, like, can you just pay attention? Can you stop talking? Let's get our work done. Instead, presume positive intent. Presume that the kid is trying. The kid is working as much as they can. They're not doing it from a place of malice. They're doing it from a place of being a kid. And once I learned this approach, I applied it immediately to this student. And it was it was my attitude that completely changed, that made therapy much easier, fun for both of us, and not stressful. I just went into it and I was like killing this kid with kindness, essentially. I was just at all times smiling, trying to get a working relationship that he could respect me, know that I was interested in him as a person, but prior to this training, I really just wasn't thinking about those kind of things because those relationships matter and they impact progress and growth. Once I started doing that, he was so much more engaged because he cared. He cared about the sessions. He cared because I cared. I highly encourage you to dig into what that really means. There's a lot of information online about that. And especially for speech pathologists, I think it's one of those things that can really be in your back pocket when you're working with kids that might be harder to just gain that working relationship with. All right, on to the next case. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.